Right now, do you know we brought in $1.3 trillion last year as a people? Out of 226 nations on the earth, that makes black people in America the 8th richest nation. We brought in $600 billion more than Spain, $700 billion more than Mexico. Yet Spain has 46 million people like we do, and they maintain a 208,000 square mile landmass, and they own everything. Mexico has 131,700,000 people, and they're maintaining 771,500 square miles with half the money we have. Yet they have whole countries, and we don't have nothing we can call our own. Something happened to us. We got to get back into what they call today financial literacy, but we got to do it quick because we got to start doing something for ourselves. We got the dollars. We just need some more sense to go with them dollars. We need some more sense because right now we the leaders in unnecessary spending. We always buying stuff we don't need with money that we don't have from people that we don't like to impress people that we don't even know. And the Negro, the black mind right now has been hardwired where happiness is connected to spending when it needs to be hardwired to investing and to save. And if we can renegotiate the contract in the black psyche, well, happiness to spending, to investing and saving, I think we'll be able to build a bright future for our people. Right now, do you know?
To my people, Black Americans, if y'all care so much about diversity and inclusion, let me know when y'all ready to boycott the corner stores and the beauty supply stores and the curry outs. Let me know, because those affect us more directly than what y'all talking about. Okay, we didn't benefit from DEI. That don't have shit to do with us. Okay, so let me know when y'all really ready to boycott the shit that matters. The shit that's taking over our communities, have been taking over our communities. The liquor stores. You know what I'm saying? The shit that's ran right down the street by somebody who don't even look like you. By people who watch over your shoulder when you go in there. By people who accuse you of stealing sometimes. Let me know when y'all ready to boycott shit that matter. Not Target. Target that then gave opportunities to Black creators. There are Black creators who have their products in Target. Why the fuck are we trying to boycott Target? What are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? We need to start with the shit in our own communities that affect us. How about we boycott some of these churches that take people money and don't do shit for the community? Let me know when y'all really ready to boycott the shit that matters. Other than that, I got shit to give from Target. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go shop right now.
I see what the call to action is to boycott, but what do we hope to gain from said boycott? And I think it's wild that people are targeting just Target when Amazon did the same thing, yes. Meta did the same thing. Well, that's Meta.
Facebook,
Meta did the
Instagram,
same
all
thing.
that, yeah.
Walmart's done the same thing. It's like, why just Target? And you're protesting on the platform that's also doing the same thing to you?
I think we like to pacify and get symbols versus substance.
And I'm not saying they're wrong for boycotting.
No,
I just need to hear more.
I'm not going to dog them. I think that they're just used to a certain playbook. And this is what they know. This is how they know to react and know how to respond. Again, it goes back to history. We are continuing to look at how do we become activists, how do we become revolutionary, and we take a certain archetype, right? We take the Martin, the Malcolm, and say, okay, well, if I want to be a revolutionary activist, I'm going to do this. The problem is we're in a new time, so it has to evolve and has to look more innovative in the way that we go about doing things. We spent billions of dollars in the civil rights era trying to integrate. And when we were boycotting the bus lines, we could have took all of that focus and created on bus systems. We could have took all of that money, that time, that energy, and that protest and say, what about these businesses that we can build up? Instead, we were looking to be accepted. And we weren't going for real power, we was going for symbolic power, power of gesture. So the real power would be saying, you know what? Our focus becomes this round table. And this is where I put the onus on Black leadership. Because we say we ain't got Black leadership, we actually do, right? But they just don't position themselves as such. You got the Divine Nine. That is a powerful organization and network all throughout America. We've seen that power when Kamala Harris was able to raise $1 billion, right? We bragged about the power, matter of fact, that we can get on a call of 10,000 of us instantly overnight and raise millions of dollars. Our problem has always been shifting power in the wrong direction. Instead of empowering ourselves, we're asking somebody else to give us power. And that's not true. So we're focused on being influential instead of being forceful. right? Force don't ask, they get shit done. And the reason that you will never have from that side of the political spectrum, and not just Divine Nine, HBCUs, the NABJ, the NOI, the black churches, the Black Caucus, where's that round table? And not just an agenda where we just talk about something. Now we have the ability to create infrastructure behind that instantly. They have a first 100 days. Where's our first 100 days? Are we going to complain about what somebody else doing, which is very intelligent to their agenda, and they're showing you how to become efficient and effective to get things done? When you go look at that amount of people that was behind Elon Musk, that's the oligarchs showing their power, saying that we no longer have to hide. The WEF believed in having the elites having complete global and economic control. So if we see these shifts that happen, you got a Department of Government Efficiency. Well, Black America is not operating off efficiency. The monies that we put into these organizations are not creating what we need them to create. So that means that either you pass the torch, right? You get out the way, or we dismantle those organizations and create better ones that's more about self-sufficiency and economic sovereignty. You feel
And
me?
we look even crazier boycotting something like Target while we're on platforms that have also rolled back their DEI.
Come on now, Mark Zuckerberg rolled it back. We talking about it on X and Twitter. This is how they know you're not serious. We have this Malcolm and Martin paradox, right? People pick sides. And it's more creating a conflict between us. Oh, I'm Malcolm, I'm non-pacifist. Oh, you more aggressive. Oh, I'm Muslim, you Christian. I believe the powers that be knew what narratives to push on the Black community that was more divisive. Why don't we study Marcus Garvey and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who had the most successful economic blueprints?
And especially when Malcolm was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's student.
No, 100%. When you look at history, people go say, well, they killed this, and it's not true. But first of all, you should look at it based on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a third grade education. He built an entire ecosystem in America with this intelligence. Who is that man? How was he able to do it? Right? And I don't care if you like him or not. If he had the right blueprint, then we should follow it.
Right.
That's it. Like, we got to get off our feelings about whether he was Christian or Muslim or this and that. And I believe that's what holds us back, because we're not following the right blueprint. We're looking at who we like. And that's because we're focused on how do we maintain and have more control. The Black church are not going to push no economic plan by Elijah Muhammad, because they need you to continue to follow them. And some of the stuff that they do is just downright disrespectful and not teaching the correct history. I see the boycotts with Target. The next step would, how do we produce what we consume? How do we become prosumers? How do we say not only we're going to boycott y'all, we're going to boycott with us? It's saying that, you know what? The consequence of this action forces us now to go more radical, like the leaders in the past. And we're done with the civil rights era, because even Martin Luther King said after civil rights comes Black power. What's more Black power than economic ownership?
It's interesting.
And come here and pool their little nickels and dimes and no education and set up little stores, develop these stores into larger stores, develop this into an industry which creates job opportunities for whites. Since Lincoln was supposed to have freed the black man 100 years ago, and today the black man, according to the government economist, has spending power of $20 billion per year. We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man and tell the white man that he's discriminating against him for not giving him a job in factories that he himself set up. If the black man has $20 billion, and these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up, they should use this same ingenuity to show the black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own. And then we won't have to force our way into his anymore. One more thing I would like to point out concerning what he said about 125th Street. We don't waste our time on 125th Street, but you can reach more people in the street who want to change than you can in the bourgeoisie society, the bourgeoisie church, and the bourgeoisie circles. Our program is directed toward the man in the street. So we spend our time in the street, and what we do with that man, instead of trying to change the white man and your mind and make you accept us, we change the mind of the black man and make him accept himself. And as soon as he accepts himself, he'll solve his own problem. He won't be trying to force himself into your factory and into your bedroom and into your kitchen.
Heights was the first black power town. Lincoln Heights was the first African-American self-governing community north of the Mason-Dixon line, incorporated in 1946. This wasn't just a neighborhood, it was a statement. Built by U.S., blocked by them. In the 1920s, black families bought land there, but the city of Cincinnati refused to annex it. They denied the residents essential services like police and fire protection, but they built anyway. Black Wall Street energy. At its peak, Lincoln Heights had 2 grocery stores, a pharmacy, a movie theater, 2 skating rinks, and thriving nightlife. This was just a community. It wasn't just a community, it was a movement. Shout out to the peppermint. GE, the $1 billion betrayal. Lincoln Heights was meant to include the General Electric plant, a major economic engine. Instead, through redlining and rezoning, it was given to Evendale, cutting black residents off from generational.
All right, peace and blessings, family. Welcome to another episode of the Jeremiah 29 Foundation podcast. Before I get started today, I wanted to read this scripture. It says, "Thus say the Most High of Hosts, the power of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city wherein I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto the Most High for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace." Now, as we go back to the title of this is how do we address racism? How do we fix racism in America? And in truth, the blueprint is right here. As I keep reading this over and over, the blueprint is right here all day long. And thus, in building your houses and dwelling them and planting your garden, that's creating your own community and creating your own system, your own economic system that will help you thrive in a nation within a nation. And as I went to these videos with my beloved brother, 19 Keys was speaking on, he was talking about it's one thing to boycott, but it's also something else to boycott. After we cut out spending with these other nations or people that don't like us, you must start buying amongst yourselves. As my Muslim brother that spoke earlier said, and he made a great point. Our $1.3 trillion, making us the 8th most richest nation in the world. Do you understand that the white infrastructure or the oppressive infrastructures rely on the black dollar for them to keep running? If they didn't, they would have got rid of us a long time ago. They keep using us to market and build their businesses. But we don't understand that we have that same power within ourselves to keep doing it. But I'm just saying, it's very simple.
We brought in $1.3 trillion last year as a people. Out of 226 nations on the earth, that makes black people in America the 8th richest nation. We brought in $600 billion more than Spain, $700 billion more than Mexico. Yet Spain has 46 million people like we do, and they maintain a 208,000 square mile landmass, and they have their own everything. Mexico has 131,700,000 people, and they're maintaining 771,500 square miles with half the money we have. Yet they have whole countries, and we don't have nothing we can call on. Something happened to us. We got to get back into what they call today financial literacy, but we got to do it quick because we got to start doing something for ourselves. We got the dollars. We just need some more sense to go with them dollars. We need some more sense, because right now we the leaders in unnecessary spending. We always buying stuff we don't need with money that we don't have from people that we don't like to impress people that we don't even know. And the Negro, the black mind right now has been hardwired where happiness is connected to spending when it needs to be hardwired to investing and to save. And if we can renegotiate the contract in the black psyche, well, happiness to spending, to investing and saving, I think we'll be able to build a bright future for our people. Right now, do you know?
And I wanna show this other post. Because this was very deep. Because a lot of people think that we progressing, but in truth, in reality, we going backwards, right? So I want to show this other post. It said how blacks' land ownership dropped over 80% since 1910. Now, if we go back to the scripture, in order to fulfill this part right here, when it says, thus say the Most High, this is a commandment. It says, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem to Babylon, build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. So how can you do that and you don't have no land? We have lost the hindsight of land. Not only have we lost the hindsight of land, we didn't know how to pass it down effectively. And this sister right here that I'm about to show, she even speaks on it and make valid points.
Okay, so in general, the book is about black land ownership, the fact that we owned more land 100 years ago than we do now. And I'm sure the people in this room and the people listening know land is where you really build wealth. Like property, real estate, that's where it goes. So the fact that we've been losing land while white America has been continuing to get these gains means that this racial wealth gap we keep talking about is because of this land loss. So I started writing this book because my family has land in North Carolina. My grandfather passed away in 2019, and on his deathbed, he was like, don't sell the land. Because that happens a lot of times. An older black person passes on and they're not sure if someone in the next generation values it enough to keep it in the family. And so it's just really important to us. Like, no, we're not letting this go anywhere. That land means everything to us. Okay, so in general,
it says black ownership in the United States has experienced a significant decline over the past century. In 1910, black farmers owned between 16 to 19 million acres of land. By 1997, this number has decreased by more than 90%, leaving black farmers with less than 3 million acres. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That don't even make that to me, that doesn't even make no sense. We completely dropped the ball as a race. We didn't even understand what real wealth is. That is crazy. Here it is. The scriptures is telling you what to do in captivity. How can you do that if you don't have no land? We literally just gave it up. Literally gave it up. It says the decline is attributed to the various factors, including discriminatory practices by financial institutions and government agencies, legal challenges related to heir property, and systematic racism. For instance, from 1992 to 2002, 94% of black farmers lost part or all of their farmland, a rate 3 times higher than that of their white farmers. In terms of farm operations, the 2022 census of the agriculture reports that 70% of black operated farmers were fully owned by their operators. 22% were part owned and 8% were entirely rented. The average size of the black operated farms was 163 acres, with 84% of these farms being smaller than 180 acres. It's just amazing on the amount that blacks had at this time period, during the heart of Jim Crow, during the heart of racism, during the heart of slavery, and we allowed this stuff to be taken away from us. Yes, we talk about racism and Black Wall Street and how they came back, but this shows you that we still own a lot of land. It wasn't just Black Wall Street. It wasn't just Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was all over the country. Blacks had the mindset of ownership, but we gave that away. However, if you think on it now, with the knowledge that we have, we can gain it back. Just one step at a time. But it's another brother I wanted to show you guys also speaking on land.
You see, people sell black people social progress, not economic progress, not progress in terms of power and stuff like that, social progress. And they say you etiquette. Well, we ain't gonna call you by that word anymore. You see, we'll act nice toward you. We'll be sweet, but we still gonna keep the goodies. We're still on all the businesses, all the corporations. We'll still have economic and political control, but we'll be nicer to you. You know, sort of like a virgin, you know. Be tender. That's all we want. You know, be tender. Do whatever you want to with me. Just be tender. Come on. Be gentle. Be gentle. Yeah, we don't care.
If America truly believes in integration, prove it. Prove it. I'm 17% of the population, 12 to 17%. Give me 12 to 17% of your banks. Give me 12 to 17% of the homes. Give me 12 to 17% of the land. Give me 12 to 17% of the resources. You follow me? If we're really going to be integrationists, don't be a hypocrite, because all they're giving you is social integration. You can move in my neighborhood. You can come to my house, sleep in my hotel. You can eat at my restaurant. That's social integration. I don't give a damn about that. That's irrelevant. Where's the political and the economic integration? Give me my 12% of everything America owns. Now we can talk about being integrationists. If you notice, they always keep integration to social integration. They never deal with the resources. They never deal with the money.
Keep that, fight that, keep that, and I like to take care of itself.
You are African.
Now, stating that is that what can we do? What can we do in our communities right now? Since we can't do something on a massive scale, we can't be able to get all the people, black folks in America, but what can we do in our various towns and cities? Like if we take Lincoln Heights in an example, it just experienced racism and things of that nature, right? But however, just a little bit up the street from them, they have a corner store that's owned by Arabs, right? And then just not even a block further up, they have a food store or a restaurant, Hooks and Fish, that's also owned by Arabs. And last time I checked, nothing wrong with these guys because they're doing what's best for their people and we haven't done what's best for ours. Is that none of these people, none of these businesses are doing anything for the community. So my thing is that why are we supporting them when we can create a corner store just as simply as having a house and gutting it out and making it their own? If you go around the corner, you have Mexicans that have a drive-through where they sell chips, pops, waters, everything at a corner store. Why can't blacks do that? In this same black-owned town. I'm saying let's start small and be able to say, okay, we're going to put our pennies together, just like what Malcolm was saying in the video. Just like what Malcolm was saying in the video. He broke it down very, very easy. It's simple. If you listen what he say, I mean, it's common sense.
To force our way into his anymore. What? That he himself set up. If the black man has $20 billion and these so-called Negro leaders are such genius,
like the leaders in the past,
and set up little stores, develop these stores into larger stores, develop this into an industry which creates job opportunities for whites. Since Lincoln was supposed to have freed the black man 100 years ago, and today the black man, according to the government economist, has spending power of $20 billion per year. We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man and tell the white man that he's discriminating against him for not giving him a job in factories that he himself set up. If the black man has $20 billion, and these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up, they should use this same ingenuity to show the black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own. And then we won't have to force our way into his anymore. One more thing I would like to point out concerning what he said about 125th Street. We don't waste our time on 125th Street, but you can reach more people in the street who want to change than you can in the bourgeoisie society, the bourgeoisie church, and the bourgeoisie circles. Our program is directed toward the man in the street. So we spend our time in the street, and what we do with that man, instead of trying to change the white man in your mind, make you accept us, we change the mind of the black man and make him accept himself. And as soon as he accepts himself, he'll solve his own problem. He won't be trying to force himself into your factory and into your bedroom and into your kitchen.
And I want to end on that for the most part. This is how you combat racism. This is how you cripple the oppressor. This is how you do it. All from this one scripture. All from this one scripture. And over time, the system that has you oppressed, that has you captive, it will crumble. I mean, the blueprint is set. It's if we're going to do it or not. So it only take one or two of us in a small community, and we can make a difference. So make sure you subscribe to the Jeremiah 29 Foundation. We're going to be bringing on more people that are subject matter experts on helping to build wealth, starting businesses, creating trade jobs, creating financial literacy. So I'm going to be interviewing a lot of brothers and sisters that actually is in this space, because this is the things we need as a nation. We need to learn how to create wealth for ourselves. So until then, stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video to anybody else that's willing to try to contribute to building up our nation. So until then.
Before Target eliminated DEI, the streets of Mississippi in 1966 were silent. You see, white-owned businesses were empty, cash registers didn't ring, because black folks, honey, the backbone of their profits, were gone. At first, the shopkeeper said they'll be back, but then days turned to weeks. Then weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. What had once been a town that disrespected black money was now on the brink of collapse, and one man was behind it all. Remember the time when black people boycotted nearly 10 years because people disrespected their black dollar? This month, I'm telling our stories through the lens of AI. Chris Evers didn't ask for respect, baby. He took it. When his brother Medgar Evers was gunned down in cold blood for fighting for black rights, baby, instead of running, Charles picked up the torch and lit the whole daggone system on fire. This was after a young black man, Roosevelt, got gunned down by Port Gibson police officers following the assassination of MLK Jr., baby. He demanded the entire police force be discharged, and when the demand was not met, he declared war, not with bullets, but with black dollars. The Claiborne County boycott had begun, baby. And for 6 years, no more gas from racist-owned stations, no more groceries from racist-owned markets, no more clothes from racist-owned boutiques. Many families would drive 75 miles out of the community in solidarity, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in black spending vanished overnight. Racist business owners who had never feared losing the black dollar before were now desperate. And to enforce the boycott, Evers men, known as Black Hats, stood guard outside the stores, warning everyone not not to betray the cause. And those who broke ranks, their names were printed in newspapers. 17 racist merchants sued the NAACP and Charles Evers for $2 million and said black people could not boycott racist businesses, honey. Then he ordered the NAACP and Charles Evers to pay these racist businesses over $2 million. But in 1982, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled the boycott was legal and protected under the First Amendment. Black people had the right to use their dollars as a weapon. So those same business owners apologized and hired black workers to include black police officers. And then those same boycotters did something else. Charles became mayor. Frank Davis, fired by his racist boss, became Claiborne County's first black sheriff. And boycott organizers ran for city council, and they won, honey. And black business owners became a majority on Market Street. They went from asking to be a part of to owning the political and business economy in Claiborne, Mississippi. This wasn't just a boycott. It was war. And Charles Evers, he won. And here he is in real life. Learn how to turn your creativity into capital at school.